Welcome back to another video here on YouTube. I'm going to be doing a new segment, my top 5 favorite pay-per-views of that year, and we are starting off with 2003. So let's get into this. Starting at number 5, we have No Way Out, 2003. I really enjoyed this pay-per-view. The rematch, The Rock versus Hogan 2, from WrestleMania 18. That was a good match, but the WrestleMania 18 match was better. The return of the Rattlesnake Stone Cold versus Eric Bischoff was a good match. Triple H versus Scott Steiner. Okay, that one, I heard lots of people don't like it, but I don't mind it. It was alright. Chris Jericho versus Jeff Hardy. William Regal and Lance Storm versus RVD and King for the World Tag Team titles. Billy Kidman versus Matt Hardy. Brock Lesnar, Chris Benoit, and Edge. This is when Brock Lesnar was actually trying. I liked this Brock Lesnar a lot. I wasn't a fan, like one of his top fans, but I did like this Brock Lesnar. Versus Kurt Angle, Shelton Benjamin, and Charlie Haas. Undertaker versus Big Show. And then Scott Steiner versus Triple H. Stone Cold versus Eric Bischoff. And then The Rock versus Hogan, part 2. So overall, this was a decent pay-per-view. It wasn't one of the best, but it was fun to watch. Number 4 is the Royal Rumble. I like the cover here. It's really cool. So, Brock Lesnar versus Big Show. Winner advances to Rumble. Obviously, we know who wins that match. Lance Storm versus William Regal and the Dudley Boys. Tori Wilson versus Dawn Marie. First ever stepdaughter stepmother match. Triple H versus Scott Steiner again. Oh, not again. This is the first time. Kurt Angle and Chris Benoit stole the show. That was a great match. I honestly wanted Chris Benoit to win. And then your entry listing in the Rumble. Of course, Brock Lesnar wins here. I was hoping, the first time I watched it, I already knew Undertaker won in 2007, but it would have been cool if he had 2 wins, like most people. Undertaker should have 2 Rumble wins already. He should have won here in 2007. But Brock Lesnar won the Rumble by eliminating Undertaker last. So, and then the reaction Undertaker gave him was so cool. Next up is Survivor Series, A Fall from Grace. I love the cover here. Shane McMahon is not really one of my favorite guys, but he kills it on this cover. It's so cool. Bastion Brothers versus Los Guerreros. Tajiri versus Jamie Noble for Cruiserweight title. Molly Holly versus Lita. Classic Survivor Series match. I like that. Instead of traditional, it says classic. Team Angle versus Team Lesnar. Kurt Angle, Chris Benoit, Hardcore Holly, Bradshaw, and John Cena. John Cena was starting to make his name for himself, and he was starting to get out on pay-per-view. So this is he's still new in the company here. Brock Lesnar, Big Show, Nathan Jones, Matt Morgan, and A-Train. And then you have another classic Survivor Series match. Shawn Michaels, Booker T, RVD, Bubba Ray, and Devon versus Chris Jericho, Christian, Scott Steiner, Mark Henry, and Randy Orton. Excuse me. Randy Orton is still also new here, so he's making a name for himself. And then Shane McMahon versus Kane, the final encounter ambulance match. That was so cool. Undertaker versus Mr. McMahon. That was a good match. It was, if I'm correct. Yeah. Kane comes out, buries Undertaker alive. So basically Mr. McMahon wins or something like that. Kane buries him alive, and then they have a great rival going into WrestleMania 20. WrestleMania 20. But their match, I wish it was longer. I loved the place, where the card was on the show. I just wish their match was longer. Like WrestleMania 14 was great. WrestleMania 20 was a letdown. And then Goldberg versus Triple H for the world title. And then I love the insert, the colors on the insert. Number 2, SummerSlam. You got Sable on the cover, so it's a decent cover, I guess. Zach Gowen versus Matt Hardy. Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, Rhino, Tajiri for the Fatal 4-Way for the U.S. Championship. Loud Resistance versus the Dudley Boys for the tag team titles. Shane McMahon versus Eric Bischoff. Undertaker versus A-Train. RVD versus Kane. Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar in another great match. And then Triple H, Randy Orton, Chris Jericho, Goldberg, Shawn Michaels, and Kevin Nash in the Elimination Chamber match. And if I am correct, I think Triple H wins this one by eliminating Goldberg. I've only seen this one once, so yeah. And then there's the disc art. So, and then my number 1 pick is obviously the best pay-per-view of 2003, which is WrestleMania 19. This is said to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time, alongside, let me see if I can find it. Right here. WrestleMania 19 is said to be the greatest WrestleMania of all time, alongside WrestleMania 17. I agree with this. You cannot find any WrestleMania greater than these two right here, because neither one of these has a bad match on it. So back to what I was doing. WrestleMania 19 is my number 1 pick for my favorite pay-per-view of 2003. You have a decent cover of Vince and Hogan. If it said 20 years across it, that would have been so cool. The cover would have made more sense. Matt Hardy versus Rey Mysterio for the Cruiserweight title. Undertaker and Nathan Jones versus Big Show and A-Train. That's the one problem I have with this. Undertaker should never be second in WrestleMania. He should always be mid-card at WrestleMania. That actually was a handicap match because Nathan Jones got took out, but never put Undertaker second. Victoria versus Trish Stratus versus Jazz. Triple threat WWE Tag Team Championship match. Charlie Haas, Shelton Benjamin, World's Greatest Tag Team. Los Guerreros versus Chris Benoit and Rhino. Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. That was a great match. Triple H versus Booker T, another great match. Street fight, 20 years in the making. Hogan versus McMahon, great match. Stone Cold versus The Rock. I wish Stone Cold would have won this because he's already beaten him twice, so why not make it a perfect 3-0? Being his last match ever, he should have won. But it was still a good match. And then Kurt Angle versus Brock Lesnar. That was a fantastic match. When Brock Lesnar tried breaking his own neck with a shooting star press, and then I heard Kurt Angle broke his neck again in this match. I don't know if it's true or not, but you get a ton of extras, so that is so cool. Mine didn't come with an insert. But, yeah. Trying to set all the DVDs up here. I don't know if I'll be able to. So there you go. That is my list of the best pay-per-views of 2003. Let me know what your favorite 2003 pay-per-view list is in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe. I tell you this every time. Do not forget to subscribe. Leave a like, cause that's really nice. And White Stoner is out.